Hi, this is Matthew Smileski, you're watching Ministry of Twang, and today I'd like to show you a couple of settings on my new amp. This is a 68 custom Vibrolux Reverb amp from Fender. It has two 10-inch speakers, two channels. One is badged custom, the other one is vintage. They both go through reverb and tremolo circuits, so you can use reverb and tremolo using both of those channels. They have separate tube and EQ with treble and bass, and a volume knob, and also there's a bright switch and two inputs per channel. One is the normal input, the other one has around 6 dB attenuation. I mean, you can hear it, that it's basically a little bit lower level. But why am I doing this? Because before I got the amp, I wanted to hear some sort of amp review with this particular type of pickups. I use Gretsch 6120 DE, which is a Dwayne 80 model, with Gretsch Dynasonic pickups. They are very picky about the amp because these are very detailed medium output single coils, and they tend to sound very hi-fi by the standard of the era. And a right amp for this guitar is it's not an easy thing to find. So I was interested how it would sound with Gretsch guitars, with their particular twangy quality, and how well does it cope with it. And well, I couldn't find the video. There was, I think there's an official Fender video with Joe Carducci playing a 68 Deluxe, which is a lower power version of this amp. But once you got the amp with two 10-inch speakers, it's usually a whole different game. I mean, it's usually different tonal quality. It tends to be a little bit more tighter, and at the same time you have to bear in mind that usually smaller speakers don't mean less of dynamics or low-end response. So actually this very amp tends to have more low end than Fender Deluxe from the same series. Okay, but I'd like to show you what is the range of the controls. So I'll try to stick with low volume, with clean sounds where you can hear most of the details. I have a proper recording chain, so there's a SE condenser mic going into my M-Audio interface. There's going to be no processing involved at all. I have a lapel mic in here that I will shut down not to interfere with the recorded sound whenever I play anything, and I always tell what the settings on the amp are. So let's start maybe in the middle of the road. So I'll have treble and bass on 5, and the volume is on 2. So this is, I'd say, probably a little bit above what you'd consider bedroom level. So good for recording, probably for soft situations when you have a really whispery, quiet band that you'd like to stay in the backing. So probably that would be a useful setting. And at the same time, I'll dial in a reverb at 3 and no tremolo. So okay, so here it is, couple of chords, couple of lines, starting with neck and Dynasonic pickup. Okay, here's a bridge pickup. And both pickups on the same settings. Okay, I'm using first input, the higher gain input, because in this particular case there would be no point to attenuate pickups because the amp stays clean and up to very usable levels. Although the first channel is claimed to be voiced as a sort of basement channel, and it has the basement tone stack. And it tends to break up a little bit earlier than the vintage channel, but both of them are very usable. They have a little bit different flavor to them, but like they are still in the Fender 60s ballpark, so very usable sounds. Okay, let's turn some dials. And okay, let's see. We'll turn the EQ down all the way and crank up the volume a little bit. So this is the setting that you usually wouldn't see on any other amp, but I have bass and treble on one, so they're like turned all the way down, and you still get pretty useful sound out of it. So nice mid-rangey, not too bright, not too boomy sound, still with EQ turned all the way down. Okay, let's see how far can we go on the treble knob. Alright, so right now we have a treble on 10, bass on 5, volume on 2, and a couple of chords. Neck pickup. So even with the treble cranked all the way up, it's still not ice pick. It's very nice, pleasant, balanced tone, and things change a lot once we kick the bright switch. And now it's like a completely different thing. Same settings, just bright switch engaged. Okay, so this is what the bright switch does, and it does a lot, like opens the top end tremendously. Okay, let's have a look at the low end control. We're going back to 5 on treble, 10 on bass. So still pretty usable, no muddy low end, nice punch, nice mellow response from the guitar, very detailed. Now let's have a look at my other favorite knob on the amp, which is reverb, because this amp stocks a long reverb tank, so we can expect really long sustain, really long decay from the reverb. And this is a reverb on 5. never run out of reverb with this amp. Okay, let's have a look at the second channel. Okay, we'll go back to 3. Okay, and this is the vintage channel. The volume is at 2. It seems to be a little bit quieter than the custom channel, but also has more headroom and stays cleaner for a broader range of volume settings. Okay, so the usual chords, starting with neck pickup. And again, I have treble on 5, bass on 5, reverb on 3. And the bridge pickup. And again, let's have a look at the treble knob. How far will it get us? And here we're at 10. That was neck pickup, both pickups. Bridge pickup. So again, not ice picky bright, but there is a different quality than the custom channel. Also, it's a little bit softer, a little bit which will require a little bit more volume. And same thing with the low end, we're going back to 5 at treble, 10 at bass, and the neck pickup. Both pickups. Bridge pickup. Okay, so oh, bright switch, and this is when the things get actually much different, because bright switch, again, just as with the previous channel, it opens up the low end. But this is where you get very detailed, very open. So yep, that's what the bright switch does on the vintage channel. I'll keep it off for now. And let's have a look at some cool dreamy extreme settings with tremolo. So I got a foot switch in here. Yep. So right now, let's see how far and how fast does the speed range go on the tremolo. So speed is at 10, intensity is at around 7. won't go faster than that. Okay. Now let's combine some of my favorite settings that I'd probably I wouldn't be allowed to use anywhere else than this sort of video presentation. So I'll crank the reverb all the way up. The intensity of tremolo is also all the way up. Treble is at 9 and bass is around 5. And I'll try my neck pickup. So yep, 35 watts of Gretsch sweetness. So for these particular settings, I think this is like a perfect match of guitar and amp for this sort of sounds. What I really love about this amp is it is able to produce great tone at bedroom levels, so it will work really well for recording and for practice. I'd say probably some of the low power amps actually need some cranking up to sound better. This seems to sound right away at basically any volume. Both channels are very usable and tone controls work really well in a very usable range, so you can't really make any extreme settings that would make it too bright or eye speaky or unpleasant. So this is a really great amp. And what's probably what's very crucial for a working musician, this thing weighs around 17 kilos, which is around 34 pounds. So it's very portable. And when I think about it, as I'm a gigging guy, sometimes 4, 5, 6 times a week, I have to carry it around. And this is not a concern anymore. This amp is really light, and for the power and the great sound that it delivers, this is something that really is worth checking out. Well, on the downsides, I can't really think that there are any downsides. Probably the usual thing that people don't pay attention to much. On the back of the amp there is a external speaker jack, which is rated at 4 ohms. This amp has 2 8-ohm speakers in parallel, so it's 4 already. So those external speaker outputs would make it impractical to connect anything else unless you disconnect the built-in speakers, or you leave one and connect external speaker of 8 ohms, then you go down to 4. So there's really no combination of speakers that in parallel would go down to 4 ohms with having internal speakers connected. So that's probably the only thing, but all Fender amps tend to be like that. So it's really not a big thing. And the aesthetics and the build quality is really nice. So that's something that I really like about it. And I won't talk about the specs because you can find them online. It's just look from the very practical, very usable point of view in terms of owning one, playing one for a couple of weeks now, and I'm really happy with it. Yep. So if you like the sounds for Dynasonic Gretsch, if you liked what it's able to do, just grab one now.